Marvel Studios is the weakest it's ever been right now. They are fighting from the bottom, and they are hoping to recover and deliver some deadly blows. But of course, they got a competitor that's looking right over them and could potentially deliver the ultimate finishing blow. So is it possible that DC Studios could deliver a knockout punch and destroy Marvel Studios? Let's talk about it. We haven't seen Marvel Studios with their back up against the wall to this degree since Marvel Studios Phase 1. If you guys remember, and some of you were alive for this, many of you were young, and many of you didn't even know what was going on. You might have been like 8 or 9 years old, because hey, I see the age ranges from people watching this stuff. Marvel Studios, despite revisionist history, was never in anybody's mind going to be anything more than a random Iron Man film that was going to officially tank Marvel forever. There are still articles on like Deadline and Variety written in such a way that's like, once Iron Man is out, Marvel is over. Who's going to buy them? Is it going to be DC? Are they going to acquire them? Nobody cares about Iron Man. The Hulk might make money. And apparently they're talking about Thor and Captain America and Black Widow. Might as well just not even try. And again, there was a lot of doubt. Even after Iron Man 1, there was still doubt. And make no mistake, Incredible Hulk, Captain America, the First Avenger, and Thor failed. And when we look at today, Marvel Studios is in that same position. They got opposition on all corners. They got competition. And most importantly, right now, after a huge success and a run of about 12 years that was seen as just about perfect, or in retroactive revisionist history, it's seen as perfect and everybody loves everything, they're now facing challenges. They're having films that aren't delivering the box office returns. They're having TV shows falling short, even though Marvel's always had TV shows since Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that have under-delivered. But again, perception has now changed. Now there's people claiming Iron Fist and Luke Cage were some sort of masterful TV. The fact of the matter is, Marvel is up against a wall. And just like when DC had their back up against a wall in the early and mid-2000s, up until The Dark Knight, Marvel capitalized on this. People don't understand that Batman Begins was a failure. Superman Returns was more successful than Batman Begins. It was the combined passing of Heath Ledger and the hype for Dark Knight that helped propel that film. And after that, we've seen DC, again, just taper off and have a couple hits. But Marvel, in that time, was able to step in when DC was down after Batman and Robin and release Blade, the X-Men films, Spider-Man got off the ground, successful Fantastic Four films. I mean, they were rising, and Marvel Studios capitalized on this, and, well, the rest is history. But now we look at it, and with their back up against a wall, can DC Studios take down Marvel? Is the question I see asked all the time. And the answer is yes. The answer is always yes. They can. And if you want proof of this, just look at what's happened in any other entertainment industry. For example, let's look at professional wrestling. In the 90s, WCW was all the rage. All the rage. WWF could not keep up with them. WCW takes a couple missteps. WWE or WWF capitalizes, becomes WWE, buys WCW. A competitor rises, TNA, they fall off. WWE starts to fall off. They get competition with AEW. AEW soars high, the pandemic hits, AEW falls, WWE rises. If we look at video games, Nintendo. The Nintendo was successful, so wasn't the Super Nintendo. But the Super Nintendo only sold around 50 million units worldwide. Sega Genesis came in and ate their lunch, destroyed them. And then Sega disappeared. The GameCube was a failure. The Wii was a success. The Wii U bombed. The Switch saved them. Xbox, the original, was a failure. You know, we could do this all day. The PlayStation 2, greatest console of all time, the best-selling console of all time, PlayStation 3 barely beat out the 360 in the end. It can always change. The thing is, DC can take down Marvel Studios if they capitalize. If they know what they're doing and they answer the fans. And what do the fans want? So with Superman, for example, it's an uphill battle. You got leftover DCEU fans, the Snyder fans. You got people that are like, oh my God, another Superman? Come on, try something different. But again, if the film is good, it's going to put a dent in Marvel's box office. Definitely with Fantastic Four, which, again, I talked about. And if we look at the other bigger picture here, and that's the future of DC. If Superman comes out and has a carryover to Peacemaker, and some people go and check that out, it helps the TV division. Then next year we got Lanterns. If people check that out and it tracks good, and the ratings are there, and people watch it, and the review's good, okay. Now they're fighting Marvel because they already have with Penguin. Penguin, arguably the best comic book TV series of all time, bar none. So they're already facing competition. The Batman, I will argue, is one of the best comic book films, stomping all over anything the MCU has done pretty much since the beginning. There's maybe like 3 MCU films that I would say are right there on the same level with it. But again, they got to prove that they know what they're doing. Next year, when Supergirl comes out, if that film delivers across the board, Marvel needs to be worried. DC will be capitalizing and Marvel will be going down while Marvel is fighting from the bottom. DC's going to have the upswing and the advantage, and they can stick with it. Now, of course, Marvel has counter answers. Make no mistake about it, Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom is a desperation move. They know they're fighting from the bottom right now. And they are hoping that DC will also take missteps and that they can, in fact, capitalize. But Marvel Studios right now is in a position where they're assessing everything they got. They're going back to the drawing board and trying to figure out what works. And DC is right now where Marvel Studios was right when Phase 1 was kicking off. All sorts of doubt. People saying it's not going to work. People looking at them and saying there's no way this can work. All they got to do is prove everybody wrong. And it doesn't take a lot. 2, 3 good films. And I think the real test will be Clayface next September. When that comes out as a $40 million budget film, if that makes more than $120 million, it's officially more profitable than 75% of all comic book films that have ever been made. Think about that for a second. What do you think Marvel's going to do? They're going to scramble, and they're going to be the one that's trying to pull a DC by copying. And they're going to go, what do we got? What character can work as a $40, $50 million film that can make $200 million? Because Marvel has been in the business of billion dollar. They need to get back to the business of the old way. 500 is good, 600 is great, 700 is a blockbuster. But Marvel warped reality. And now it's time for DC to step in and show them that you can do it the other way. And I hope they do. Thank you for checking out that video. And thank you for your continued support. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, do whatever you will. And if you're so inclined and would like some additional content from us, which includes unfiltered content and bonus discussions, we do offer exclusively in our member section. We hope to see you there. So thank you for watching and have a good one.